Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a brief update on software usage with the Megger MTR105 rotating machine tester. Previously I'd made up my own test report sheet, as you see in front of you here. This one is for the three-phase motor test I carried out on the little tech motor, and I made this up by pulling all the various data files that the instrument saves into one Excel spreadsheet. Having spoken to Megger, they've given me some more advice, and they do actually make some software that will collect all the data from the USB stick that you've downloaded from the MTR105. This is actually their PowerDB software. This is actually free to download from the Megger website. I'll leave a link to the software in the description box below. So this is the front screen to the PowerDB Lite software. You can see here the MTR105 is actually in my favourites because I've used that instrument before. But if you scroll down, you see an entry here, motor control test sets, and this is the MTR105. And you click that, and it brings up this. It's just this single sheet that you get with the software. The two logos here, the Megger and this company logo here, can be changed from the settings. You can go to options, and here you can browse and select another logo or a picture that you want to put in there. You can change the temperature units between degrees C and Fahrenheit, as well the metric and imperial for the default units. Language you can also change to a number that are there, and then that's pretty much. You can change the header slightly to be either a service company or an asset owner. And this one here doesn't really work on my PC because I don't have a touch screen, so that's not for me. You can, if you want to, create an online storage for the files that you have. I don't do that. I save everything onto my own local hard disk and back up that way. So the rest of the entries here on the sheet you can fill out to your heart's content, whatever you want to put in there. You've got these titles you can actually change as well if you wanted to, I believe. So you can change it there. So there's a little bit of flexibility in this area of the test sheet. This one here, you can change the date. Ambient you can add in, you can change it to Fahrenheit or degrees C directly on the sheet. Humidity you can put in here if you want to. And you have this option here to put in a test status. You can then click this button here and you'll be able to import the data. So if I go to file here, so these are all the files I've copied off the USB stick. So one methodology for this, if I go to this first test of the Pi simulator here and open him, add him straight in there. These are my test results that it gives, a little bit of basic information, and then the insulation resistance measurement that I made, resistance 1 and 2, and then the calculated ratio. If I want to add another one into this, I can import again. It gives me a warning. I'll click yes because I want to, and I go back up to the later file test that I did. Open that, and there you see I've got an additional file that adds on to the information I've already pulled into that sheet. So this one here you can use as your baseline test, and then any subsequent test you can add in afterwards all onto the same test sheet. The other way of using this, I'll go to a new sheet. I'm going to keep him, import some data. If I go and look at the little tech motor that I carried out the tests on in the initial video, I can, if I select all of these, just hold down the shift, got them all, use them, and it will pull every single test that was highlighted into the one data sheet. So I've got a complete set of tests for this one motor that was carried out, and you see them here. This is the resistance results. I don't get the option here to edit any of this. I can't put in here that this was L1, L2 and L3. Same with the continuity test here. I can't specify that that was an earth bond test. But the results are all in there, direction of rotation. The insulation test here, this was a temperature compensated one. That's what I've compensated it to. And it gives the reading here, and then the reading that was taken at the actual 21.4 degrees C. I get that as well. LCR measurements are also in here, or the capacitance, inductance, or resistance, but again I can't put in L1, L2, L3, which would have been nice. And there's the actual temperature test, and finally the voltmeter readings that I had here. There's the greater than 400 Hertz and the slightly erratic voltages that I picked up during this test. So that's it. It's not exactly what I would have liked. There's a couple of bits and pieces that I would like to be able to edit to make it a bit more user-friendly to send to a client, but it is a lot better than I originally thought I got with the instrument, so I'm much happier with that. So the only thing I would say about this as well, I found out about the software by talking to Megger directly. Been through the literature on the instrument. This here is the only reference I can actually find to PowerDB. Just this one little bit of reference here, and this is in their general data sheet, which I don't generally read an awful lot of. If I go back to the actual user manual, which I've been through from top to bottom, look through all of that, you can see here, takes you through all the individual tests, and then you get down to here to data management section. In here, if I go over to that page, so data management, and it just really goes through how to manage the data on the actual instrument itself. It's creating the actual asset tag, how to select the asset tag for saving to, a bit of more management, deleting one, deleting readings from within the actual tag, and go through complete test, and go through, and it goes this little section here of exporting entries to the USB stick, ready for it, and it just gives you the process for doing that, and that is it. It then goes to firmware update. Really should, ideally I'd see a section here to at least tell you that you can pull the data into PowerDB to obtain a full data sheet for the tests you've done. So that's a little bit remiss from me. From talking to Megger, it sounds like a lot of these instruments they sell are actually done via a demonstration. When I was talking to them, they were asking me who demonstrated the tester to me, and unfortunately I'm just some clown who's gone along and bought one and started playing with it. So I think if you'd had it demonstrated, obviously stuff like this would perhaps have been explained to you and you'd be aware of it, but if you just buy it for yourself, then it's not immediately obvious that you can use PowerDB with it. It's very easy to miss. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it useful. Give it a like if you did. Thanks also to Megger for putting me right with the use of the software. Let's say I'll leave some links in the description below so you can check those out if you need more information from the Megger website. And I'll see you again in the next video.